Well, Mr. Chair, I see you online there. You planning on running remotely there? Mr. Ford? Oh, Mr. Ford, Mr. Williams, one of you planning to chair?
I wasn't planning on it, but I can if you need me to.
I'm good. I just had a little problem with my mute button there.
All right. Well, I think we're ready here in the room whenever you're ready to go.
All right. So it is, I'm actually an hour ahead of you guys, so I believe it's about 12:50 on Wednesday, April 26th of 2023. And I am Ron Ford. We are here to start our King County Development Committee that's been called as a special meeting. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Berman. Here. Doherty.
Already here.
Iqbal.
Iqbal present.
Kenyon.
Here.
Linder.
Linder here.
Davist. Caius.
Caius present.
Williams.
Williams present.
Ford.
Ford present.
You have quorum?
All right. I don't think there's no need for, there's nobody's been signed up for public comments. All right, so moving on, our Building and Zoning Division, ordinance amending to the King County Code, Chapter 25 zoning ordinance regarding wind energy conversation. Conversion, I'm sorry, system.
Well, speak up.
Madam Chairman is present as well.
All right. So I don't know who's doing the presentation on this.
Yeah, good morning, Mark Van Kerkhoff, Director of Development and Community Services. Thank you all for being available for this special meeting this morning. I also want to thank our zoning board, who also held a special meeting last night to hear these text amendments. And then a special thank you to Director Wolnick and State's Attorneys, Assistant State's Attorneys Robert Sandner and Vincent Coyle for their work on this project here. So these are text amendments to the King County zoning ordinance. These are two new sections proposed to be added to the ordinance under general provisions. The new sections 25.5-4-8 for wind energy conversion systems and 25.4-5-4-9 for commercial solar energy facilities. So I have a brief presentation on why we're here with these amendments, and then happy to entertain any questions about the amendments themselves. So a little bit of background. Earlier this year, the state of Illinois passed Public Act 102-1123, which provides that counties may establish standards for commercial wind energy facilities, commercial solar energy facilities, or both. These are a change to the way counties are enabled to provide site selection through zoning, particularly for these types of facilities. So we may adopt standards that meet requirements that are specified in the state act, but we may not include requirements that are more restrictive. Public Act 102-1123 may be amended in the future, but in the meantime, it's recommended that we amend the zoning ordinance to include the standards stipulated by the state. This is similar to approach taken back in the 90s when the state did a similar change to how counties and municipalities could regulate site selection for cell towers, to give you sort of an equivalent from the past. The proposed text amendments include requirements for obtaining other permits for site development and construction, such as stormwater permits, as are required for other types of development and structures in the county. So in the need for action, this was underscored at a seminar that I went to down in Springfield that was put on by the Illinois Association of County Board members and also supported by the Illinois Farm Bureau. These are from some statements from the workshop that if a county wants to establish standards, we must do so by Friday, May 26th, thus the need for the special meetings. And also that we cannot impose restrictions that zone them out. If county action is not taken, it will not have any citing criteria within our jurisdiction. So it's a fairly critical issue for us. If a county has a current zoning code which covers wind and solar siting, it should perform a text amendment pursuant to our zoning ordinance, which is exactly what we're doing with this process. So what has our process been? County staff has been meeting with the Civil Division to review and discuss the relevance and the impacts of the Public Act with our zoning ordinance, and particularly with our Kane County Stormwater Ordinance. Staff attended a workshop, as I mentioned. At that workshop, that we were provided with drafts that were prepared by the organization and the Illinois Farm Bureau. We use these drafts as a basis to modify for adoption as these new sections in our ordinance. It is anticipated that future amendments may be needed. This could happen if the Public Act is amended or if there's other further clarifications regarding exactly what counties can and can't do under the act. But this is our best step forward at this time. ZBA conducted a public hearing last night, unanimously voted to recommend approval of the text amendments to the county board. So the next steps after today, the amendments would be considered by the full board on May 9th. This would meet the deadline of May 26th. And again, it's anticipated that we could be back with additional tweaks and amendments to some of this, but this is a good start. So requested action today would be that the Zoning Board of Appeals reviewed it last night, but the Development Committee moved to approve forward your recommendation to the county board at the May 9th meeting. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Can I get a motion a second?
Williams moves.
Lindsay seconds.
All right, any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, I sent
Go
you
ahead.
an email. This is Mo Iqbal, and I sent Mark also an email regarding a friendly amendment. And he said, fine, it would be incorporated. It's a small one, and on page 1, line 2, definition A. I think it's a minor thing. I think that should be amended. This text should be amended accordingly. Number 2, since we are following the state statute, it's good to put reference to it whenever we are having the whole paragraph from the statute. That helps the reader later on to figure out where it's coming from. We have been doing it in some other ordinances, so I think it would be a good place for the reference as well. I'd like to know what the state attorney feels about it. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Bob
Yeah.
Sander here.
Ms.
Go
Williams.
ahead. Go ahead.
Bob Sander here. My concern is that if there's any changes made now that were not before the zoning board, that it may slow down the process or require more meetings. That would be a concern of mine, that the process wasn't done properly and could be challenged at some future point. And calling another meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals to have a special meeting for minor changes which don't seem to be substantive. I don't know if that's really necessary at this point. I think what could be done at a later date after it's adopted is amended. And it would be a cleaner way to do it than taking the chance of interrupting and possibly disturbing the process. Sir.
Mark Van Kerkhoff, I'll additionally note that the reference to the Public Act is in the adoption ordinance. Typically in the past, for the zoning text itself, we've not included references to state statutes or public acts because those change from time to time.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
Williams here, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Williams.
I think it's critical we get this adopted today. We're seeing a lot of new applications for solar farms, especially in the Western Township in my district particularly. So I appreciate the hard work from Mr. Van Kerkhoff, from Jody, from the state's attorney. I think we need to get this adopted today and if, like Mr. Sanders said, we can come back and revisit it if we need to do some cleanup work, but let's get it adopted and passed.
All right, I kind of agree. If we need to make any amendment to it, we can do it at a later date. But I do understand the concern about us this reference to the state statute or how this came about. Any other questions or comments?
Just,
All right, go ahead.
oh, yes, hi. Just procedurally, so this has got to be approved of by the board by the 26th.
Microphone, please. Microphone.
There we go. That's better. All right. Thank you. By the 26th, or what was the date that it has to be approved of?
Yeah, by May 26th.
May-
So
okay.
with this special meeting, this will be on executive committee next week and the full county board on May 9th.
So we've got plenty of time. All right, in case there are any adjustments that have to be made. I'm sorry, takes 17 days. Oh,
Whoever it is, can they
so
use a
we're-
mic? What's the 17 days?
No, I was just saying that's enough time unless for some reason it took 17 days.
Microphone, please. Microphone.
Never mind.
never mind. So he was just saying it takes a while to process things. And earth was made in 7 days, according to the Bible.
The
Oh,
ordinance would
so-
be effective on the date that it passes. So if it is passed at the May meeting, it's effective.
It's effective immediately. Okay, very good, very good.
Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none. Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Berman. Doherty.
Yes.
Iqbal.
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon. Linder.
Linder, yes.
Caius.
Caius, yes.
Williams.
Williams, yes.
Ford.
Ford, yes.
Passes.
All right. Going back to agenda, I believe there's no new business. There's no need for executive session as of I know. So-
to adjourn. Linder,
All
second.
right. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
All right, we thank you. Have a great day.
Short meeting,
We are
great.
adjourned. We are
Record.
adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you all.